Now, for all is calm, all is bright, remember we've divided up the sections. So if you are on stage, hang on, if you're on stage right, you're going to use your right hand for the sign all. If you're on stage left, you're going to use your left hand for the sign all. So in effect, to the audience it will look like this from two halves of the chorus. So those of you on stage right will sign all. Now notice my palm is at a slight downward angle, my fingers are splayed, they're not together, and my thumb is out. It starts right at the waist level, and it moves in an arc, outward and slightly upward. If it was just to move outward and stay on a level arc, it would only indicate everything on the ground. But because it moves outward and upward, it includes ground and air. So it's all, meaning everything around us, not just things on the ground, is calm. And for the sign calm, we're using the same sign that we used earlier for silent, because it basically has the same meaning here. And it's one less thing for you to remember. So it's all is calm. Or if you're on stage left, it would be all is calm. And then again for all is bright, it's the same. Those of you on stage right will use your right hand. Those of you on stage left will use your left hand. And to the audience it will look like this. And then for bright, basically you make a flat Pac-Man. So put your thumb and fingers together and make sure that it's flat on top, not bent like this, but flat. You put your fingers together so that the tips of your index fingers are touching. So it looks like this. And the sign for bright, it's at sternum level, and it moves out and up. And your fingers splay, but they don't wiggle. So there's no wiggling, it's not spirit fingers, just jazz hands. So, bright. And again, the chorus is going to go, the first two rows will sign bright, the second two rows will sign bright, the third two rows will sign bright. So it'll be an explosion effect going upwards. And from my vantage point, it looks amazing. It really does look good, and the audience is going to love it. So, let's do all is calm and all is bright again. So those of you on stage right, you'll use your right hand. Those of you on stage left, you'll use your left hand for all. I'm going to use both hands, but don't let that confuse you. Now notice bright stops at eye level. My palms are out each side of my face at shoulder width apart. And so what I want, the first two rows will sign bright and hold it, and then the second row will go bright, and the third row will go bright. So, or the first two rows, the second two rows, and the third two rows, I mean. So those of you in the back will be signing bright very quickly. Those of you up front will need to be signing it more slowly. Now I have to think where we are. Oh, round yon virgin. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's stop, go back, and do everything up to this point. Hands at your sides. Good? Let's do it again. Okay? Okay. From here, we're going into round yon virgin. And everybody's going to be, from bright, using your right hand, regardless of what side of the stage you're on. Your left hand is just going to drop to your side, and your right hand is going to motion down to where Stan and I are standing. So basically, in American Sign Language, you set up people and things in space, and then from then on you refer to them by using that space again. It's similar to pronouns in English, where we say he, she, and it to take the place of the proper noun. In American Sign Language, the space takes that same function on, basically. That's a simplistic explanation, but it works for now. So you all will sign bright, and then using your right hand, your fingers will close, you'll rotate the palm, and by the time you hit the end of yawn, your hand needs to be pointing to where Stan and I are standing. Now I believe Stan will be conducting you, and I'll be standing next to him signing to you. I know we had talked about having me face the audience, but I don't think that there's any reason for that. So I believe I will be facing you and signing to you so that you can see what to do and have that little extra help. So for ease of use, because I want everybody to be pointing to the same place, Stan and I have become the round yawn virgin. And so everybody will go from bright to where Stan and I are, and your eyes must follow your hand, so you're looking at us too. So it'll look like this. Round yawn, round yawn. Now the sign for virgin that we're going to use starts at the temple, and I know some of you know how to sign, and this is one sign that people seem to know, and I've seen some variation in the chorus. I want you to not do the variation that you prefer, but do it this way so that we all look the same. Because if we all look the same, it looks much better to the audience. If some people are doing this and some people are doing this, it doesn't look as good. So while both technically are correct, for clarity's sake, I want us all to do this. Start right at the temple with a V, or the peace hand shape, and just move it down to the side of your chin. So it'll look like this. So from bright to round yawn virgin will look like this. I'll do all as well. And from here, the sign for mother is just a thumb on the chin, and you tap it. Taps twice. So it will look like this, and I'll turn slightly so that you can see the tapping. And don't turn your head to the side, just keep your head straight on. I was doing this just so you could see it. So mother and child. Now, the left hand is palm up, and basically it's the arm that you would use to cradle the baby. And in this instant, your right hand becomes the baby. So it will be palm up. And your palm is basically the face of the baby looking up at you. So what's important is when you sign this, that you look down at your palm as though you were looking at the baby. So you go from mother to child. And the sign moves from mother during the and, mother and child. And so by the time you hit the note, well, actually we're not singing it, but in your minds, when you would hit the word child, that's when your hand needs to be firmly in place in your arm. And notice that there's a slight angle here. It's not this, it's this. So your left elbow is slightly up, and your right elbow slightly down. And you're gazing at the child.